Hey savvy social workers, in this video we are going to discuss breaking down a best question. Let's get into it. A social worker is working with a client who has anxiety about dating and getting into a committed relationship. The client says, "I never knew what to expect from my father growing up. Sometimes he would explode and hit me and my sisters for no reason, and other times he would be the most loving dad in the world." What is the best way for the social worker to respond? Okay, so knowing that this is the best question, the thing we want to pay attention to out the gate is that we are definitely wanting to meet the client wherever they are, emotionally and situationally, and do what is the most beneficial for them, which is just another way to say the best thing for them. Okay, so a social worker is working with the client, so that tells me that you're already starting to work with them. So that's already let me know that we are in the middle phase of the helping process. So is working with the client. I'm just going to highlight that for illustration purposes. Who has anxiety about dating and getting into a committed relationship, where this is going to be what I deem as my presenting issue. The why the client is in services, that type of stuff. Okay, and so now what the client tells me, either what he says, how he feels, anything like that, in that moment is usually going to be where I look for my priority problem. Okay, so the fact that the client gives this, and I tell people all the time, make sure you're paying attention to quotes, because they are usually the important stuff. So in this situation, he says that he never knew what to expect, and yada yada yada, all of that. The question is asking, what is the best way for the social worker to respond? So in this situation, you need to meet the client where he is in the situation, as well as emotionally, and that is right here where he is saying he never knew what to expect from his father, and basically his father's behaviors right here. Okay, so you meet him right there in that confusion and respond in a way that is going to be most beneficial to the client for that confusion. Okay, see what I did there? We met him where he was in the situation, as well as emotionally. So we're going to see that there's a little frustration or confusion here with the way his father will respond. Okay, so let's meet him there and do what's best for, and respond in a way that's best or most beneficial for that confusion. So would the best response be, why do you think he did that? Well, I'm going to eliminate that out the gate, because that is not going to address the priority. Asking him why is, in a sense, kind of passing judgment a little bit, but also just kind of denoting, not putting it all on the client's back, and it kind of dismisses the social worker from the helping role, in my opinion. So that's definitely not going to be the answer. B, it sounds like this really bothers you for some reason. Now that does sound like a good response. Is this going to be the most beneficial response for the client who is confused about this? I don't know yet, but it could be, so we're going to pause it. C, you look very worried when thinking about your dad's unpredictability. Okay, this is another observation, and I will tell you, some people may be apt to picking this, but I will scratch it out, because telling the client you look a certain way, to me that is passing judgment, and so we also want to make sure that we're not doing that. So passing judgment, saying, oh, you look worried, or you look like this, or whatever, is probably not the best therapeutic practice. So I am going to eliminate that, just on the strength of it saying you look worried when thinking about your dad's unpredictability. And again, we don't want to pass off any assumptions with that, right? So let's just eliminate that. Option D, your uncertainty about your dad's reactions to you and your siblings has contributed to your anxiety about getting into a serious relationship with someone. Now that's a whole lot, but it does sound like it is directly addressing what the priority issue is here, which the client is expressing uncertainty, because remember, this is the best question, so we have to meet him where he is and deal right there. So he is expressing that uncertainty and that confusion, and so the rest that and then the social worker goes on to say, this has contributed to your anxiety about getting to a serious relationship with someone, which goes back to kind of address or take into consideration the reason why he's there. He's having anxiety about dating and getting into a committed relationship. So let's go back and look at B, where it says it sounds like this bothers you for some reason. That may be a decent response, but remember, whenever we are intervening or responding to clients, we want to make sure that we are doing something or saying something that is actually going to help the client's priority issue. So if just telling him, it sounds like this really bothers you for some reason, that is not incorrect, but in this case, this is the best question, so that's not going to be the most beneficial way to help the fact that he's confused. Just telling him that it sounds like he's bothered, it's not going to assist that. With the option D, this response actually meets the client where he is, and it validates his feelings as well as clarifies his experience. So you're actually providing some insight into saying, you know what, this is why you're anxious about dating and committing to someone. So this will actually help the client better than just saying, oh, it sounds like you're bothered by this, you know, that type of deal. So I think with answers A, B, and C, asking why or telling the client that he sounds bothered or that he looks worried can send off signals of judgment and disregard for the client's feelings, and they do not mean where he is emotionally or situationally. In the option D, it actually provides insight to help the client gain some clarity about, you know, his feelings as well as validating his experience, which will be the best way to respond as well as the most beneficial way to the client. I hope this was helpful. Again, let me know what y'all think in the comments. If y'all have any questions about this or anything, let me know if y'all guessed the right answer. Also, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you already or not, and also share it with somebody who you feel like can use it, because, you know, we all out here trying to help colleagues get that pass on this exam, and so why not do it the savvy way? Thank y'all.